You don't see that I'm the sister of a heroin addict, and that I tried to love him the best way I knew how, but that I made myself a promise a long time ago that I wasn't going to be the person who lent him any more money. I wasn't going to clean up his mess or buy his drugs. You don't see that I wear his ring on my finger, the one the coroner gave me after the autopsy, because a drug overdose is a suspicious death, and suspicious deaths require autopsies. You don't see that I was the first one to see him after they were done cleaning the body, and the last one to leave, and I swear he was smiling. You don't see that I miss my brother every day. You don't see it, but I do. You don't see that I'm a motherless daughter of a parent that died of a vicious, unforgiving sickness called Hodgkin's disease lymphoma. You don't see that I held her hand until the life ran out of it, but it wasn't enough to save her. You don't see that all the praying in the world ain't enough to distract God if He really wants something. You don't see that I owe everything to that woman for everything I am or ever hope to be. And you don't see that the last 5 days before she died, she told me to go talk to my father, somebody who was never in my life. Go tell him how angry I was with him, how much I hate him. You don't see that she knew all along what she was doing, and even in her dying, she was worrying about me and my life. You don't see that when I stepped off that bus, I wanted to kill him, but all I could do was cry. You don't see that I was a chubby kid and a fat adult, and that it should have never mattered, but it always did. You don't see that I'm ashamed to eat in front of people. You don't see that I've risked my life to get rid of this. That what the world says is bad, that I have no self-will. Let me tell you about some fucking self-will. You don't see that I underwent the knife and I lost fucking 245 pounds, and that I had 50 staples in my belly, and that it took a year to be able to swallow food again without throwing up. You don't see that it's not about the weight. It's not even about the food. That I'm more than a number on a scale. You don't see any of that, do you? But I do. You don't see the little bubbly girl I was, always singing, full of love and trust. Maybe too trusting. Too trusting that that motherfucker took something from me and I didn't even know I had it. You don't see the way my body jumps when someone touches me from behind, or though I can't still make love in the dark. You don't see that sometimes I can't get through a night without seeing that old man's eyes, and that the smell of Old Spice makes me sick. You don't see that I count the number of men there are in a room when I walk into it, and that I always sit with my back against the wall. You don't see that even though I survived that vicious attack, that a piece of me died in those woods. Like the skin that I wear or his yellow tar-stained fingers over my mouth. The memory of that night still encompasses me. You don't see that, but it does. worst thing I ever did, or the worst thing that ever happened to me, I did to myself. I shut myself down. I stopped allowing people to love me. I stopped loving myself. And I listened to all the bad stuff, all the bad things that had happened. Just like flowers need rain to grow, we need tears to grow. Life is about loving each other. And it's just amazing when you open yourself up to that gift, because it comes back. It just comes right into your heart. This has been a very emotional journey for me, and I don't know, it's just all about gratitude. Family and friends, those things are irreplaceable. You know, things that used to rent space in my head, research papers, rude people, grades, none of that matters anymore. A year ago, I was pronounced dead. Well, my cardiologist brought me back, and I was dead for 2 minutes. And an experience like that changes your life, because you really see what is important. And all the stupid things that people consume themselves with, all that doesn't matter anymore. It's like the real beauty in life comes through. And I don't know, I just think that's the only reason we're here, is just to love each other and to be loved. So, thank you for listening.